The cafeteria at Jefferson High pulsed with the noise of another ordinary afternoon. Trays clattered, sneakers squeaked, and laughter echoed off the walls. But in one corner, the air grew heavier. 4 seniors had gathered around 2 quiet students, twins with pale hair and calm eyes. They were easy targets, or so it seemed. No one watching could have guessed that the soft-spoken pair had been raised by a U.S. Army Ranger, or that this ordinary Friday would be the day someone learned that silence does not mean weakness. 3 months earlier, Eli and Emma Parker had arrived at Jefferson High, 2 small-town kids from rural Nebraska, stepping into a world of crowded hallways and unfamiliar faces. Their father had died in service, and their mother had moved them to the city for a fresh start. The twins didn't speak much. They kept to themselves, walking the halls like shadows, always together, always unnoticed. At first, their quietness was mistaken for arrogance. Some called them weird. Others whispered that they were too proud to talk. But they had learned early in life that not every battle is fought with words. Their grandfather, Sergeant Major Bill Parker, had raised them with discipline, structure, and something more: control. He had trained them since childhood in self-defense, awareness, and restraint. He used to tell them that real power wasn't in strength or anger, but in knowing exactly when not to use either. The twins carried those lessons like armor, silent and invisible beneath their ordinary clothes. At first, the days passed quietly. Then came Tyler Briggs, star quarterback, local hero, and self-appointed king of Jefferson High. He noticed Emma one day in the lunch line, sketching in her notebook. Something about her stillness bothered him. Maybe it was because she didn't laugh at his jokes or blush when he spoke. Maybe it was because her brother looked through him like he was nothing. For a boy used to attention, being ignored felt like an insult. The teasing began small. A bump in the hallway, a spilled drink, a cruel note taped to a locker. The twins said nothing. They endured it day after day, trusting time to pass. But cruelty rarely ends where it begins. It grows until it finds resistance. One Friday, as the final bell rang, Tyler and his friends cornered the twins behind the gym. The place was empty, the air heavy with heat and tension. The bullies circled, jeering and confident. They expected fear, but what they saw instead was stillness, the kind that comes before a storm. Moments later, the world turned upside down. Movements too fast to follow, a sudden shift, a body hitting the fence, another stumbling to the ground. In less than 10 seconds, the laughter was gone, replaced by groans and disbelief. The bullies who had swaggered in stood no chance against years of quiet training and calm precision. By Monday, the story had spread through the school like wildfire. No one knew exactly what had happened, only that 4 seniors had been beaten soundly by 2 soft-spoken art students. Hallways that once swallowed the twins in whispers now parted when they walked. Teachers greeted them differently. Even the principal, after reviewing the footage, saw the truth. This wasn't violence. It was discipline. When asked where they learned it, Emma simply said their grandfather had taught them to defend themselves, but never to seek a fight. To end it quickly, without hate, and walk away. The principal didn't punish them. Instead, she invited them to speak at the next school assembly. That Friday, in a gym full of restless teenagers, Eli and Emma stood under the lights. They spoke of silence, of courage, and of restraint. They spoke of the kind of strength that doesn't shout but endures, of how kindness isn't weakness, and how walking away sometimes takes more power than fighting back. When they finished, the applause came slowly, like a wave rolling across the room. But it wasn't for the fight. It was for the truth they carried in their quiet voices. Weeks passed, and the bullies returned from suspension changed. One of them offered an apology, clumsy but sincere. The twins accepted it and moved on. By the time spring came, Eli and Emma Parker were no longer the invisible kids from Nebraska. They were something else, a reminder that real strength doesn't demand attention. It simply stands, calm and unshaken, until the noise fades. Because sometimes the loudest message is spoken in silence,